UK is about to enter week 4 of lockdown, and I think it's time for some real talk. I have made no secret of the fact that I am very concerned about the loss of my civil liberties and those of my fellow Britons. At the start of this lockdown, I predicted an abuse of police powers, and sadly they have lived up to my expectations. I've said all along that I care very much about protecting our elderly and vulnerable, and I have been adhering to the government's new regulations, but my fellow people of Britain, take a look around us. Across the country, people are being fined, threatened, arrested for crimes that do not exist. I would like you to watch the following video, which contains very strong language, but I think it's important that I let you hear it uncensored so that I can articulate my point. Here it is.
Right, listen to us.
Well,
We've had a call, haven't we? Because we want to come, otherwise there might be something going on here, so
right.
we need to double check. I appreciate what you're saying about social distancing, so I'm keeping the distance.
Yeah, fuck off.
Right, so we need to check the room to make
Go,
sure nothing's going on all right. What's your
stay
name?
away from me.
What's your name?
Don't matter.
Well, we're going to find out anyway.
What are you doing in my house? What are you doing in my
I
house?
have just explained to you.
What are you doing in my
I've
house?
just explained to you why we're here. We've had a call, there's a disturbance, that's why we're
Right,
here.
what, so you kicked me door in?
Should you have opened the
You-
door?
no.
We've explained that to you.
No, I told you why I wouldn't open the door is because of what is going round this virus now.
Right.
Fuck off
Right.
and get out of here.
One time satisfied.
Look at you. You might have it. Fucking do
One
it.
time satisfied, everything's alright.
Go away. Come on. Get in here, dickhead. Go on, have a look.
We're just checking.
Have a look, dickhead.
Alright.
Yeah. No going on in here, is there? So what you been putting me door through for then?
We told you.
Fucking do one. You're fucking pathetic. Get out of here.
Have you got any reports?
You've absolute disgrace. And you got
Keep your
all else to
distance.
do.
I thought you wanted to
You've
keep your
put my fucking door through.
Yeah, we have.
I hope you're gonna fucking.
Have you got
What are
any
you gonna
reports?
fucking do to that?
Have you got any reports?
Oh, shut your fucking mouth, you fucking brain dead
Right, we'll be
cunt.
going
Get
now.
out. Fucking paid what, 20 grand a year to be a fucking knobhead? Fuck off. Get out. Of my fucking house. Get the fuck out. Lot of you. Bye. Bye. Fucking idiots. Broke me fucking door. Look at the fucking state of this. Huh? British fucking police. Look at the fucking state of it. You fucking knobheads. Fuck my life.
Here is another video filmed in Finsbury Park in London, where a journalist is surrounded by police who are shouting that he is killing people.
You ask my opinion.
You're part of the problem.
I'm not. Right.
Stop videoing and move on.
Excuse me?
You're on the blue. Essential journeys only.
Yeah, I was going for a walk.
Leave the area, please.
Hey, I'm a journalist. I was going for a walk and I saw some police.
Unless you're exercising.
Yeah, and I am
Leave the area.
exercising. And I'm a yeah, I'm a journalist. And I saw someone get in a conversation with the police.
Can you go over there?
You have to scream and shout at me. And I was exercising.
Carry on exercising.
I was, and then sorry,
but you're not
mate.
exercising,
I'm a
are you?
journalist.
Yeah, it doesn't
You can see
matter,
my
it
press
doesn't matter.
card. I was walking past and saw an incident,
We've
so I
been told
stopped
and
for a
advised to
second.
people.
I
Unless you're
appreciate that, and I was exercising.
Listen, can you leave?
And I don't need to be surrounded by.
You're either exercising or you go indoors.
So I was
look, video me, look, Sergeant Gary Brown,
Yeah,
3058 you, go home.
Can we just stay 2 meters
Go
away?
home.
I'm trying.
Go home.
Go home or you get fined.
Go home now.
You're gonna find me.
Yes.
I'm asking. I don't understand. I was walking past. I'm a journalist. I saw an incident.
I don't care
I wanted
what
to
you
make
are.
sure it was okay.
Go home.
I was. Hey, you're all very close
You're
to me.
killing people.
I'm not.
Go
I was going for a walk.
home.
You're coming close
the
to
area,
me.
please?
I'm trying to. I'm now surrounded by
go on then.
5 people.
Off you go.
Right,
Goodbye.
thank you.
3058 you, Gary Brown.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, mate.
Goodbye. Thank you. You're saving lives.
You're in the blue. Go home. Go away. Go away now. Essential essential journeys only. Filming is not an essential journey.
Excuse me? Mate,
This is your last.
I'm
Go
going.
home. Go home.
I was just filming, mate, this is my job.
Go home. Otherwise
I'm
you'll
not
get
having a go
fined.
at you.
will get a fine.
I appreciate that. I'm not getting in your way, but you can't yell at journalists going about
I'm instructing you.
my
I'm
responsibility.
instructing you to leave.
And
This is your
I
last
was
chance.
walking away
Turn
from
around
you.
and go, otherwise you'll be fined.
Mate,
You're
this
still
is
staying
not going
here.
to look good for you guys. I'm really sorry.
Oh, good.
And finally, take a look at this video of a police officer threatening to fabricate a reason to lock a young man up.
What for? It's Mark, you're harassing me. What for? I haven't done nothing wrong. Tell these, mate. What, go on. Give
No,
me
you've done nothing
wrong.
wrong.
You want to give me the definition of harassment?
Give your details.
You want me to
I haven't done anything wrong.
Give me the keys. Sit in your car, shut up. And if you want to fucking step to me and put thing in your chest out and stuff like that, then fine, I'll lock you up. We'll do that, shall we? I'll make something up. Public order. Score up to a police officer. Should I do that? Who are they going to believe, me or you? Who are they going to believe, me or you? You can film all you want.
I will do, mate. Don't worry about it.
Show some respect, you
Right, here comes the real talk. I shared these videos on some of my social media platforms earlier this week, and you know what surprised me even more than the content was the reaction of some of my followers. People were actually implying that the man in the first video who had his front door kicked off because the police officer said, and I quote, "there might be something going on here," was somehow at fault himself. I saw people commenting that he should have just complied and allowed the officers to enter and search his home. People said that he should have been arrested for using foul language. I was in shock. If I played you that video and replaced the audio with an old lady saying, "What are you doing here? Get out of my house, leave me alone," the entire world would be horrified. Yet because this guy reacted by swearing and shouting, suddenly people lose sight of the big picture. The big picture being that neither he nor you nor I are obliged to allow the police to enter and search our homes without a warrant, and they certainly are not permitted to boot our front door off its hinges on the basis that there might be something going on here, which, incidentally, after they forced their way into this man's home, they realised there wasn't. The second video I played showed the police surround a journalist who was filming the arrest of a woman walking her dog. The police told the man to stop filming and accused him of killing people. I watched that in complete disbelief. I posted it to my social media channel saying that despite years and years of persecution and harassment by the British police, I always make an effort to be balanced whenever I refer to them, but this video shows nothing more than a gang of bullies who are abusing their positions of power. Once again, to my surprise, I saw people commenting, "Journalists are scum," and "the guy should have just stopped filming and not stood still because that's not exercise." I couldn't believe it. Put aside for 1 minute your personal opinions of journalists. It is not illegal to film in public. In fact, just last month, in March, the government gave key worker status to journalists and broadcasters who are providing public service broadcasting. And given that we are seeing incident after incident of police abusing their powers against innocent civilians, I would say that this journalist could quite comfortably argue that filming an arrest in a park during such a time is public service journalism. But even putting that fact to one side, the guy was surrounded by police. He had a sergeant shouting in his face that he is killing people. He had coppers in full TSG riot gear all around him telling him to leave, threatening to fine him, and he even had police officers inside the parked vehicles joining in and telling him to go home using loudhailers, when in fact there was no legal obligation for him to go home. He was quite entitled to be in that park without being accused of killing people. Then there's the third video I just played. Now, I was convinced that of all the videos I've been sharing, this one cannot possibly receive any sort of justification. The police officer says he will lock the young man up, and when asked what for, he says, "I'll make something up. Who are they going to believe, me or you?" Seriously, a police officer has just threatened a young man on camera that he will have him unlawfully imprisoned, and still some people were commenting on my social media post saying, "Well, we don't know what the guy did. And this is good old-fashioned policing." No, it's not. There is nothing good about this policing. It's draconian in the extreme. Now, I'm not a lefty. I do not need everyone to agree with me at all times. That would make the world a very boring place. But I am imploring the good people of Britain to just consider what you stand for. Millions of men fought, bled and died for us to have the freedoms that are currently being taken away from us. And whilst I understand people may wish to comply with the coronavirus regulations, there has to be a limit. These instances of blatant abuse of police power cannot be justified. If we start justifying that, then we lose all our freedoms. The sacrifice of millions of men will have been for nothing if we just give up any rights we have. Just because there are restrictions in place doesn't mean that we have no freedoms left. Your rights are so important. They are all that stands between us living as free people to us living under complete tyranny like North Korea or communist China. If you've been the victim of an abuse of police powers or you believe you have been fined unlawfully, please get in touch. I'm offering a free advocacy service to anyone who has fallen victim to this newfound thirst for power that the police simply aren't entitled to. You can report any issues you have experienced to me by visiting www.britishfreedommovement.com or by clicking the link below this video. JadaFranson.online was created to beat the social media blockade and to bring you the news that the mainstream media never will. If you support my network, please consider making a financial contribution towards its running costs by clicking the link below this video.